Welcome to the party life.
What we supposed to do during this gap, bro? You watch baseball?
Huh?
You watch baseball?
Nah, not for real. I be wanting to. It's just,
Or
yeah,
like to keep up with too?
yeah. That's really what it is. Like I'm just so far behind, and every year I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch. Like I'll watch when I'm in the bar or something like that, and like I'll go to a game, but I don't.
It's a lot to keep up with. I used to play. I used to be 5 too.
For real.
Yeah. That might have been the first sport I was really good at. People don't really know.
I was just talking to my homeboy about that. It's like a 6'7".
A
Supposed to be
player?
raw. Yeah, like he's 6'7". Fast. They say he fast like Tyreek Hill. He's 6'7".
But he playing
can
baseball.
throw. Like he got one of the hardest arms in the game, and he black. And me and my homeboy was talking about it. He was like, man, that's what we like. We always run to basketball or whatever, basketball and football, and like baseball be,
Definitely the money.
you can use, like your athleticism could be used there, and it's already crowded. You know what I'm saying? Like it's already crowded in these other sports, right?
True.
So if there was more blacks, like there's more of us that could be good in baseball.
True. Because right now, I think now,
We can go dominate. Like I
who dominates baseball now though? You think is it Hispanics or like, just foreigners? Period.
Yeah.
Like it ain't even an American
it's-
sport no
Yeah,
more.
so it's like, and I don't have the the stats to back this up, but I would think, because I don't know, you don't want to group all of them in the same, you know what I'm saying? Central
up.
America, South America, like because they coming from all over, but they not Americans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think a lot of that is, what's the
We
demographics of the
definitely
MLB?
could. Yeah, that's a good. I didn't know how to search.
Yeah.
Demographics.
%38 is players of color. 28% of those are Hispanic. So, yeah.
Wait, what you got again?
38% of all players are players of color. 28.5% of those are Hispanic.
Okay. I see
Blacks,
2020
have
it
the
say
lowest percentage.
57 white, 31% Hispanic.
the whites still lead.
Yeah. And 8% is black.
Because whites be
3%
having they what's the names playing?
The kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. I seen you posted earlier about the hockey coach.
Yeah.
I never got into hockey.
I mean, we in the South, so we didn't have a shot at getting into hockey.
Well, I'm just saying, like, as far as watching it,
Oh, yeah.
I never.
But you going to watch what you play. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
You either going to watch what you play or you're going to, if it's like, if you're up north, then that's what other people play that you grew up with, so you're going to watch. You know what I'm saying? That's where that friend, like,
I didn't play football, though.
but everybody around you played football. You get what I'm saying?
So I was trying to make a point on the last show that I did, the show before last that I did, where I was telling them, I can't take it. Wait, y'all don't kill me for this. We recording.
Uh-oh.
Y'all don't kill me for this in the comments. But I feel like the media made us like Michael Jordan before it was actually like, oh, I'm seeing him play and he's doing great things. Because lately I brought up the point that what pushes him past a lot of people is that clutch factor. He wasn't playing against no Rudy Poo talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no whole bunch of just sweeping people like back then.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it
these were
wasn't the
close
dominating.
game. Yeah.
Even if you think about even if you think about the okay, you won 3 in a row, and then you went and won another 3 in a row. They weren't just sweep like you just said. They were competitive series. They were like, hard fought series, and he still came out on top. So that speaks to the level of greatness, and it speaks to the level of perseverance.
Yes.
Like, like I'm the best, but I'm getting your best, and I'm still going to overcome that.
Right. But back to your point. Back to my point. I think whatever the media decides on what is, like, that's what we gravitate towards, like, regardless.
So I get what you're saying about the likability, right?
Yeah.
What you're gonna put in front of the people is what we're gonna gravitate to, right? It's all marketing. It's all
because had we not had cable, who would Mike really be to us?
I think that's why he still has that allure years and years later, right? So think about a Kareem, think about a Bill Russell, whatever, whoever else. Even Magic, even Magic to a certain extent.
Yeah, like, I don't know how great Magic was outside of highlights.
What is going to keep Mike long lasting is not only his greatness, but the way he was marketed and in the way, like, as a kid, you know I want to be like Mike, like that is ingrained in your head. It's marketing, right? But the accomplishments and the stats and the everything else has to go along with it.
They back it up.
I think when you say that, it comes with a negative connotation that,
like, I'm taking away from him.
Yeah, it isn't founded in truth, because he, like, you go look at the numbers, like, they're there. Yeah, you can say that about somebody who's like, oh yeah, he was good, but he wasn't, like, his numbers stand the test of time. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get what you're saying, but with Mike, it doesn't necessarily work.
I got you. Because I can make that point about several artists.
Okay.
I can make that point about even fashion. Like, when we look at
fashion,
how Jabos then went out the window, like,
all it is
just fast
style and culture, right?
Yeah.
So even like we was just listening to Hove, right? Think about all the different things that Hove made hot over his career. That when you look back at it, it's like, man, that was a wild time right there. Like, we was wearing big button up, like big clothes with button up shirts. And like, you was just buying button up
matching
sets just to say I got on a button up, but it didn't necessarily look good, right?
Right.
Or, like you just said, Jabos. We were in the South, Cash Money. Hey, they talk about the Jabot jeans, and like we wore them because we wore soldieries, like that.
I didn't wear soldieries.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
But everything is about what whoever is hot says is hot. You know what I'm saying?
Why though, bro?
That
continues
goes back
to baffle me, bro. Because it don't stop at just fashion. It don't stop at music. Like,
everything.
It's influencing relationships.
Yeah.
And how men and how women feel about each other. Like, the dating world, the marriage, like, all of it, bro.
Even think back to, or if you even want to go to dating and marriage, right? So think about how you are taught to view women, or how you go about life, and you make that transition from, oh yeah, I want to get every girl, to you get older and then you realize, okay, well, that's not really the thing, like like it is, like, okay, it gets old, right? And then some people never grow out of it, or some people they realize that, okay, well, that's what it is. But then you think about it, okay, well, the reason I was thinking like that is because the music influenced me. Think about that.
Like, I need to have all of them.
Everybody else around me thought about it that way. But then you think about how old the people that you were listening to,
how old they were at the time.
Yeah, how old they were or are at the time, and it's like you really start to think about it. It's like, well, damn, you were a grown man influencing kids, a generation to, or like even some of them were like literally married with a family,
just entertaining,
entertaining you to think a certain way.
And they don't even believe it.
And they like maybe they do believe it, maybe they don't. But the fact remains is that you're an adult with a family.
Right.
You're making music just to entertain.
Yeah.
But you go back home to a family. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. But that's what culture does. Like, so that's why I gravitate towards artists that like it is what it is. Like
no matter
like
what,
they're living in their truth, or they're telling you about their truth. It's not making music just to entertain.
Yeah. How do you feel we cipher through, I mean, what's real and what ain't?
I think you can tell by the real emotion of the song. Like, if it's not just like you just said, like
you think so?
You can listen to, well, not necessarily that it's.
There's some actors out here now.
That's what I was about to say. When I say that, I say, like, for example, like Kendrick Lamar, latest album, or Kendrick Lamar in general, like they are talking about real life emotions that the everyday person goes through, right? When you're tapping into that emotion.
Okay.
Not just like I'm talking about broad generalities. I'm tapping into an emotion.
So would you say, in order for somebody to be able to do that, they have to have some kind of experience with that? You don't think somebody can study and learn,
so I think,
and be able to tell somebody else's story, or tell from their perspective as if they're dealing with it, but it still be.
So I have no problem with that either, to a certain extent, and I'll tell you why. Because like I said, let's just say I really love the album, so this is what I'm sticking on.
Okay.
Right now. Kendrick Lamar, if he didn't experience everything that he talked about in this album, and it was just throughout his whole life, like even go back to Good Kid, Mad City.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't experience everything that he talked about, if he saw it and he used it to tell a story that has good intention, then I don't have a problem.
You can still respect his.
I can still respect his
vision,
getting
being
on
able to
and
describe
telling a story and describing something that's going to help
that detail, because he expounded.
Correct. and I'll go back to the flip side. The opposite of that is when, let's just say, street rappers, right? Mm-hmm. They get on and they're quote unquote telling a story that they saw, but the only purpose of telling the story is to make you look, to me as the artist,
right,
is to make me look a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm telling somebody else's story, but it's to glorify me or to give me
some
clout.
Kind of credit.
Yeah. To gain clout.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, okay, well, the only thing you're doing is you're trying to gain clout, you're trying to look a certain way, and then you're influencing people in a negative way, because what is your purpose in portraying that?
Right.
So you're portraying that lifestyle, trying to get somebody to entertain, and then somebody else or these kids or even adults, kid-minded people, they're going to listen to you, and they want to mimic that, and so it's a vicious cycle. So we talk about culture. Yeah. That's where it negatively affects culture. So when I talk about the Big Sean's, I'll even go back to Big Sean. When Big Sean was going through what he was going through, mental health, he came back, he dropped the album, and he talked about mental health. He talked about how he was affected. He talked about all these different things.
Has he brought that up in interviews?
Yes. He talked about it on Drink Champs.
Oh.
He talked about it on Drink Champs.
Make sure we're straight.
Yeah, he talked about it on Drink Champs. So yeah, I think that's perfectly fine when you use it for good.
Okay. So it don't necessarily have to be a situation where you didn't actually went through it, but the intent still should be.
I just feel like, especially the power that us as Black people have to influence culture.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're not using it for good or purpose, then you're hurting, you're harming.
There's a lot of people doing that.
And even to the standpoint of like huge Hov fan, right? Mm-hmm. When he speaks on selling drugs, he speaks on it from a past tense standpoint.
You're not glorifying
it. He speaks on it from a standpoint, okay, I did it with blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. The famous Hov did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you speak on it from a standpoint of this is what I do, this is what I am doing, even from the standpoint of selling drugs, like y'all are millionaires. You're not doing it. You're not still doing it. So why perpetuate that and why keep pushing that image in that story?
It's clout. I think it's clout. Absolute clout.
Like I was gonna go back to Pusha T.
Mm-hmm.
Even Pusha T, I was listening to him on, matter of fact, Drink Champs. I was listening to him and he was talking about like, okay, this is the flip side of that.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he talks about it, he talks about it from he views what he does as like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody he was like nobody says anything to what's his name, Scorsese, or what's that director? I forgot. Whatever. Nobody talks about them when they make these movies about drugs, violence, or whatever. But if you're really looking at it as an art form, which, like I said, that's what
music, any
it's an art
form
form,
of
right?
yeah.
But that's what Pusha T says. If he's still talking about drugs, it's because he's trying to paint a picture. And so you're still using that as a way to talk about what you seen or what you lived through, whichever one it is. The problem comes in is when either you are still doing it, which this is like one of my pet peeves. Like either you are still doing it, you're selling drugs, you're in the streets or whatever. Either you are still doing it, or you're acting like you're doing it and then just trying to look cool to everybody else. And if you are still doing it and you're rapping about it, then you're not very smart.
Yeah.
It's just not very smart.
I mean, yeah.
So one of the, like I don't like it either way. Like either you're acting and you're just trying to profit off of pain and our plight, the black plight.
Right.
Or you're doing it and you're just being dumb. So either way, it's like it doesn't make any sense.
She's gonna hurt you or the people listening to it.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a lose-lose situation, man.
Lose-lose situation. So if you like I said, music is art, and so use it as a way to express, like, because regardless of who you are, street guy, non-street guy, school guy,
Right.
you have human emotions. Like you're not. Everybody has emotions.
Right.
So whatever you have going on, you can put that through your music. Everybody ain't like you're not waking up killing everybody every day.
No.
So like,
And that's the same thing you talk about over and over. Like, come on, dog.
Obviously, you're doing it to for
Like,
the
y'all
clout.
niggas ain't happy at all. Like,
You ain't never happy,
you ain't got nothing. Like,
or you ain't never like there's a full range of emotions. You're not sad. You're not happy. You're not.
Yeah.
You don't ever like a girl. Like you don't. All of them just
Right.
whatever. Like you don't have those emotions. Like vulnerability is the big thing.
We struggling, bro.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the outlet, man. It's your boy FeeLo, man. In here chopping it up with my kinfolk. I mean, maybe y'all don't notice it, but we have these conversations often. Introduce yourself, man.
I'm Fred Underwood. Which camera we in?
Camera one right now.
Okay. Fred Underwood. I am a sports and tech consultant. Have my own company, Dream Big Sports. Done a lot of different things with marketing in the corporate realm. Work in the corporate realm for tech. I'm a sales engineer. And I just love basketball, love hoops, love sports, love music. But yeah, man, we in here kicking it.
We in here, bro.
These are the conversations that I have, at any time. So I just it's a good opportunity to put it on, put it on the camera.
Mm-hmm. That's the intent, bro. I forgot to say this, but everybody that has come on the show, the fellas, like all college graduates, all very intelligent, And so far, I think everybody has been from Alabama. So shout out to us.
Yeah.
Up here in Atlanta representing, man. I think these conversations, like, I think these conversations carry a lot of weight for a couple different reasons. Because I think, one, perspective is everything to me. So what you bringing and what I'm bringing ultimately might not always look the same. And even with the business stuff that we've been, kind of dealing with, it's a lot that I'm learning throughout that whole process. But I'm sure there's gonna be some people that will watch this and gain something from it. And I don't want y'all to think like what we say is law. Like, yeah. It's never that, because if I'm all the way honest, like, I'm still learning from the business to the business relationships, like personal relationships. I'm back on the market as far as dating now, so it's like I'm trying to navigate through all this stuff. But I'm just like, since I'm in this season, like, why not get the podcast back going? And so that's where it's at right now, man. But what you been having going on, bro?
Man, nothing, man. Just
you legit work full time.
Yeah, we it's the grind of working full time, corporate America,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to build my businesses on my off time. So balancing that with balancing a family, balancing kids,
Mm-hmm.
wife, everything. It's a grind, man. Like, you have to make sure that you're taking care of mental health. You have to make sure that you're taking care of your body. You have to make sure you're taking care of everything you're doing on a day-to-day basis, giving everybody their time that they need, but also giving yourself your time that you need. So I think that's big.
And I don't want to go too far into it, but how often do you feel you have like moments where it becomes like overwhelming?
Man, I would say often. Like, I go through little spurts.
Okay.
That it definitely feels overwhelming. You
Mm-hmm.
definitely have to take a step back.
Are you hard on yourself?
Yes, definitely. And I think I realized that through counseling, really. Like, just how, like, going through counseling and
individual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done both. I've done individual and marriage counseling.
Necessary. Y'all heard? I be telling people, bro, that shit important.
Yeah. But, like, just like, one of the things I took, like, from when I was doing my counseling, it was like, it's okay. That's one statement. She had me write down 5 it's okay statements. Okay. Like, it's okay to, like, I used to feel guilty if I didn't work on my business, like
every day, all day, invested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I used to feel guilty about it. Like, if I'm spending too much time on my phone, or if I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like, but it's okay. Okay. Like, you have to get to the point where it's okay, but you have to. And I'm still, like, I'm struggling with it right now. I be thinking about it, like, but you have to get to the point where you get the most out of the time that you spend, right? So it's not about the amount of time; it's about what you do with the time that you do. So I think that's very big. Just coming up with it's okay statements and understanding that it's okay to take a day off. It's okay it's okay to not have all the answers. Like, I'm a person that likes to be right. Yeah. Like, and I have to understand.
Everybody can't admit to that.
Yeah.
Everybody don't like admitting that.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, it's okay to to man up and take care of your responsibilities. It's okay to admit that you're wrong. Like, it's just. I think that we have, as a society, have become so judgmental and hard, like, judgmental on other people, but like I said, judgmental on ourselves. So understanding that when you realize where you have messed up, and when you realize, where you have made a mistake or where you can improve, it's okay, and then move on. Like, didn't make the correction.
So what really just stood out with what you said, I'm gonna take this with me. You mentioned not working on the business and beating yourself up for it, but like in that, whenever you do decide that it's quality more so than quantity.
Yep.
Because I can feel like sometimes I need to be doing business stuff. Then when I get to it, it feels like forced. You know what I'm saying? Like almost to the point where I'm scatterbrained, even like kind of going into it, like what really, I know I should be doing something, but what really should I be doing? And that's why, even with stuff we've been doing, like setting reminders on my phone and having a schedule, like even down to a daily like agenda. Like I hear you say that all the time. I'm just like, bro, I need to adopt some of that just so I can make sure. Cause every summer I've had like these opportunities to work on my business, but I don't know, it's something about being here that's different where it's just like, bro, I got a lot of time to work on like what I want to work on. And that has become like overwhelming because I got the show and then I got the kid stuff that I'm working on. Then it's like, I want to still do music like personally, but I want to kind of take a break from that. But then there's people like the article that I read today, it was just like, come on, man.
I'll say to this.
Like people still watching, like people still listening. I was just like, dang.
You have, and I struggle with this as well. Like you have to get to the point where you can't be pulled in so many different directions, because at all times something's gonna pull you. Like you have to be able to get, like, okay, this is the lane that I'm going. If it's not like in that path, then it's gonna just pull me away, and then I'm not gonna get anywhere.
All right.
But I do subscribe to like doing, like action over like think,
just
like
ideas.
Yeah, like okay, action over ideas. Exactly. So like it'll find you, right? You do enough, it'll find you.
True.
What you need to be doing, or what's gonna be for you,
right.
It'll find you, right? Because if like you. Similar to me, like just having being multi-talented, like you have these different things that and not even just from a talent standpoint, being interested in
doing a lot,
multiple different things, right? So like, oh, I can do this, and that like you like what am I really truly doing? It's a gift and a curse. Like I know people try to talk down on jack of all trades,
right?
But
master of none,
right? I don't. It's not necessarily a bad thing. That's your superpower, right? Everybody doesn't have that superpower.
Yeah.
So you have to get the most out of your superpower, and the way you get the most out of your superpower is, like you just said, putting some of these systems in place, putting some of these processes in place, putting some of these goals in place. Like really set aside some time to like, okay, write things down. Hey, this is what I'm gonna do. This is some of my goals. This is what I want to accomplish.
Are you opposed to? I think I asked this a couple episodes ago too. Are you opposed to the 9 to 5, like always being there, so that financially you could take those risks with the business?
Yeah. So with me,
would you? I'm sure it would be your preference to work business full time if you didn't have to worry about taking care of responsibilities and stuff.
Yeah, it's responsibilities. And I know a lot of people glorify like the whole entrepreneur lifestyle, And
that's why you're here, brother. Talk about it.
yeah, it's a sore spot. I know a lot of people glorify it, right? Just to say that they do it, and this is like not like from a cocky or a
Come on, man, it's the outlet.
Whatever standpoint, but like I make too much money for it to for me to do it without it making sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Especially because I have a family.
Yeah.
And I have created a certain lifestyle for that family, and I wouldn't do that to them.
Yeah.
By putting myself in a position to where it would be a struggle to keep them living the way that they live.
Comfortably, yeah.
And the flip side of that is I am in a blessed position to where I make good money and I do something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
If I didn't enjoy it, now that would be a different thing.
Right.
If I woke up every day and I dreaded my job and I didn't like it, then that's a different story. I probably would jump in, but I think people get on social media and glorify the entrepreneur lifestyle and talk about, oh well, I hated doing XYZ, so that's why what drove them to entrepreneurship. But everybody doesn't have that situation.
Right. Like
some people make good money and they actually like what they do, but they do like other things. So yeah. The way I've always looked at it is I take my money from the corporate people,
right,
and I let it fund what I want to do.
Right.
And my job, I'm blessed to have a job that allows me the flexibility and the opportunity, the money wise. The insurance costs so much that because I've taken the leap from big corporation to smaller corporation for perceived more money, and the insurance is not as good. The perks are not as good. So I went back to the big company, and it allows you to be in a position to do the things that you want to do. Now there is a flip side.
Okay.
There's a flip side, and this is what's been on my mind, right? And the cheat code of being married, right? So if you have a spouse that can get you some insurance, and you have a good enough plan and you have a good enough financial position, I always think back to, okay, well, if I make this here, then I'm talented enough to make 5 times, 10 times on my own. So I do understand that, right? Because if I'm talented enough that you're gonna pay me this, then what could I really do if I actually put forth the effort,
right,
in what I want to do,
yeah.
Right? But it's a balance, right?
Yeah.
So you also have to be self-aware, because
I just be wanting to clear up the misconceptions that a lot
that's
of people have for the entrepreneurship.
That's a big misconception.
Yeah, right? Like it ain't just PTO every day, every weekend. Like I said, that's what people are putting in front of folks. Like I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in Tulum, or
where that
I'm
comes
in
from?
DR. Like, come on, bro.
You know where that comes from? They're selling something.
Yeah.
They're selling something. They're selling the lifestyle so they can sell you something, or to build up their, like we just talked about earlier with clout. They're building up social media clout, so they can look a certain way. They can be either it's to stroke their ego, or it's to they're selling some type of course.
What's crazy, even they kind of go with that, but what's crazy even now is just I know people would. It's not easy out here for nobody to keep up with bills and stuff, and like you got to go to work in order to pay bills.
Right.
But for some people, like they've been falling into them little traps where folks are like, yo, send me a cash app or send me this amount and I can turn it into, like, bruh, I've been seeing so many people get got with that. Man, please, y'all don't be giving out y'all routing number and cash app and all. Like, and these folks are recording videos of themselves saying, "Hey, y'all, it really worked. Like, all y'all got to do is," and I'm just like,
scamming is at an all-time high.
oh my gosh,
It's
bro.
at an all-time high. And that's another thing about, like, you're not getting nothing easy, man. You're not. It's just that's just not how life works.
Yeah.
You're not turning 500 into 25,000. Like, nobody. If people are doing that, then everybody would just do that. Like, so I think it also comes down to people just being lazy and not wanting to put in the work and not wanting, like, it's a shortcut, right?
But there's a ceiling though.
Right.
I mean, you saying I can't say across the board is laziness, because for some people that hadn't gone to college, they're still getting only $15 an hour working or whatever,
sure.
And you know, whether they got kids or not, like, they might get food stamps or whatever here and there, but them jobs ain't paying no more money, and it's just like you eating the same stuff, you're taking the same bus, you can't save money. Rent steadily going up. So it's like, shit, I need a little boost. So, like, is that lazy?
So when I say lazy, I say either you're not wanting to put in the work that it takes to learn a skill or something to, you know, like I said, like, even from this standpoint of, and it's not a bad thing. Maybe you're just not interested, right? But, like, let's say stocks, right? If you don't want to put in the effort and the time, because there's either you have time or money. You got one or the other. So to make money, you're gonna need one or the other. You're either gonna have time to where you can put in the time that it takes to learn.
Okay.
That skill, right?
Okay.
Once you get good enough at anything, you can turn that into money. Or you have money to invest in something that is going to bring you back money.
Okay.
It's one or the other. That's how you make money.
Who introduces you to those ideas, I think, is the first wall that a lot of people hit, though.
Like you just said, people in their DMs talking about, oh yeah, you give me this money. Like
yeah. So
you got
that's enticing.
you got bad actors out there who just talking about it with hip hop culture, right?
Yeah.
So you can either use your powers for good, or you can use it for bad. And a lot of people out here are scamming and using it for bad.
Because I guarantee it, it's a lot of people that are good at things that don't know, even without a college degree, they can go get certified and get licensed and start making money.
Yep.
Like, and which is where I go back to middle school, high school, not doing the best job of educating students on those sort of things.
I was gonna talk to you about this, but like, just getting into tech, right? Like, there are so many ways that you can get into tech without getting a degree. You can just go get certain certifications.
I've been thinking about doing that.
Yeah, like
IT
like,
stuff?
Yeah, IT, like help desk, like, and all these things are remote. Like you spend, like I said, time or money. You spend the time that it takes to get to learn how to do it, and you have the knowledge. So when you go to somebody, you go to you reach out to these people, and now I know how to do it. So, like, I have the resume. I know what I'm talking about. And when you talk to people that can tell you know what you talk about, then that's where it's easy. But when you try to skip steps, that's why I said lazy in the sense of skipping steps. I want something that I'm not qualified to get.
Yeah, but I got $50 to send this stranger. So yeah.
I just put in a little bit more effort, and that's time.
Boy.
But yeah, y'all stop scamming out there, man.
Please. That's a good text message for a reference. Who your the Cowboys. The Cowboys your favorite NFL team.
Absolutely.
And then Alabama for college.
Yep. That comes from me growing up in a lot of different places, you know, being military brat, lived all over the place.
The Cowboy thing?
Yeah, so when I was from the ages 4 to 8, I lived in Texas.
Okay.
And so that's where the like,
Was that Emmett era?
Yep.
Yep. Emmett and Deion?
Yep. So from, let's see, from 87 to 91, I was in Georgia. I was born in Georgia.
Okay. What part?
90, Savannah.
Savannah. Okay.
91, 92 to 96. I was in, or 90, yeah, from 91 to 95, I was in Texas. That's when they won their championships.
Yeah.
And then after that, I moved to Germany.
Germany was after that?
Yeah.
Do you remember much about Germany?
So what I remember about, I remember Germany. Like I was a kid just running around having
a lot of black people out there?
No, not. I mean, well, on base, I had like my friends that that were black friends.
You still keep in contact with them?
Yeah. So I my god brother Luther Holmes, Kel Holmes, both of them. Like I still keep in contact with them.
Okay.
I got a homeboy Jamal. Like I keep in contact with him a little bit. But outside of that, that's about
Nobody's still there?
No.
Okay.
No. Now my brother, he keeps in contact with he was older, so he keeps in contact with everybody that he went to high school. He was in high school over there, so I was in elementary and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, it was fun. Like I got to see Europe. I wish I was older because I would remember it a little bit better. But yeah, man, I got to see Europe. I went to Paris, Switzerland. Where else did we go? Paris, Switzerland.
That's crazy.
Somewhere else, I forgot.
How do you think that has helped you?
I think
being in those different places, because I hear about like people that, you know, military or whatever, and it have a negative effect on how they, you know, are like kind of closed off because at any moment, you know, they could pack it up and leave, and now they got to make new friends and new environment and just getting adjusted all the time. You're trying to fit in everywhere you go.
So I think for me, luckily we didn't, like I just told you, it was in fours. I was only in 3 places, and then my dad retired. So, Georgia 4 years, Texas 4 years, Germany 4 years basically, and then I moved to Montgomery, and it was in Montgomery for the rest of the time. But yeah, so it didn't affect me how other people, because they was moving like year after year after year.
Yeah,
that was a lot of people's story that I talked to from military. But for me, it did teach me to be able to adapt and talk to people that one, didn't look like me, and two, just different cultures, right?
Okay.
So like, you know, going from all of that to you know, then spending the rest of my time in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
Big difference, like, right? So it
what was that like?
Oh, that was definitely a culture shock, right? So like being it with
this
on
was
a day
middle school, high school?
Yeah, middle school. So I'm all like I knew it, like it wasn't that much different because, you know, I was always spending my summers in Greene County. Anybody know about Greene County? Like, so I grew up, you know, going to Greene County, spending time in Greene County. So it wasn't like that, but
okay. So it wasn't like a brand.
Yeah.
Experience like I ain't never been before. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I've always spent my summers in Greene County. So like that was even like, you know, worse than being in Montgomery. Like so, like, but being around it on a day-to-day basis, like, bro, I went to first school I went to was Capitol Heights.
I'm like, this is it.
First school I went to was Capitol Heights. Fights every day after every period.
You weren't used to that?
Nah, it wasn't. not in Germany.
Jeez.
So yeah, like they fighting every day, every period. Like learning to gamble, like between classes, like all that. So it was definitely different because, or even just the programs, bro. Like, so when I was in Germany, I was in a program called Talented and Gifted, and I used to go like in between classes, and they would take us and we would do different like projects, like build Legos out of certain things, and like it's tap into your creativity
early,
right?
Wow.
Like that's the different types of program, like connects, like, okay, hey, come in here, can you build this roller coaster, like this different type of stuff. I moved to Montgomery, I ain't none of that.
Like that.
None of that.
Damn,
So
bro.
like I used to like to draw, like it was just different, like all that stuff was not taken away, but like, you know what I'm saying, it's not the norm in the Montgomery public school system, man.
I saw a teacher fuss at a kid for drawing. Like that's all he would do. Now, granted, it was during instructional time.
Right.
But it's just like I don't ever think she took the time to cultivate and at least point him in the direction like, yo, he needs to paint the cafeteria or do a mural in the hallway. Like here, that.
Ask yourself why. Why is he doing that? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And I know, and it may be like, I know teachers have a lot going on, right? So like I'm not, you know, not understanding everything they have to go through, and they're just trying to, you know, actually just get through what
they don't care that much about the kid learning
Exactly.
like that, bro.
Bro, I used to, and that's like I told you, like coming from that school system to the Montgomery public school system, bro. I used to go into school. This was my high school years.
Mm-hmm.
Get a news. I got a news in the morning. I would get a newspaper every morning.
Mm-hmm.
I would go into class, sit there, read the newspaper. Didn't really pay attention. Passed everything.
Yeah.
Not paying attention, and I got through school like that. Like I just knew, like I read, and I just knew certain things, and I could do like. And I even to this day, like, you know, I done went back and got my MBA and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, like, I just have a knack for retaining information and being able to utilize it easier. But think about if a teacher was to challenge me or to see that, like you just said, like, okay, hey, you reading, I'm not gonna not fuss at you and like, oh, you're in trouble type of thing. Oh, let's see how I can challenge him. Mm-hmm. Let's see how, like, and that to even the point of like, you got to be challenged. So like, obviously, what y'all are doing isn't challenging me. How can I bring the most out of this kid? And like, oh, let me. What kind of project can I assign him to? Like, how can I release his creativity? Because that's really what it was. And like, I didn't have an opportunity. Like in school, you're just telling me to regurgitate this information and give it back to you, right? Mm-hmm. I want to do something that allows me to use my creativity. So if I'm not doing that, I don't got time for what you're trying to do. And so like, I even brought it back to like, this is like, what is it? Three? I graduated 3 years ago. Like even then, when my at the master's level, even when these classes were just if it was just about reading, retaining information.
Easy.
I didn't. Not even that is easy, but like it was easy. But the point of the matter is, when I had project-based classes, I was more engaged. Yeah. When it was just, you're gonna take this test, memorize. You're gonna take this test, memorize the facts, and like my hardest class was business law. Mm. When we had to go and talk about
different cases.
I'm engaged.
Yeah.
When it was, hey, remember this rover
date or something?
Yeah. Remember this case and what this case is about. I don't care. But you want to discuss the case in class? Oh yeah, I'm all ears. Yeah. We had a negotiation class. Mm-hmm. Literally how we were graded. There was nothing to test. It was negotiation. Yeah. It was a negotiation and conflict resolution. Literally, we would get information, the other side would get information. We had to come to the table and we had to discuss it and negotiate who could get the best deal. Wow. I'm engaged that entire class.
That's right up your alley.
Like that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But when it's something that say marketing 101 and you got to remember these terms, I don't really care.
All right.
So to the point, school, bro, they gotta find out how you can engage these kids.
Mm-hmm. I always wonder now what type of, and I'd like to go visit, but LeBron School in Akron, like I wonder how hands-on like that is, just based on you know, who
I would
LeBron
imagine.
is.
Yeah, I would imagine that it's very like I found a matter of fact, I found a school, private school. You know, I got 3 of them, but so it's gonna cost a little grip. So I'm still trying to get to that point where
Here.
Yeah, here
Okay.
in I think Mableton, but it's a
All
project.
girls.
No, it's a
It's co-ed?
It's co-ed.
Okay.
It's a project-based learning school. Like
Yeah, I need to teach them.
they go over like different projects, finances, like okay, critical thinking. Like I don't understand why why that style of school has to be either private or charter.
Yeah.
Why can't public schools teach from a project based?
Especially now with all of like with people like us in these schools now that have the creativity and like it ain't too many old fashioned like how we was growing up. Like it ain't too many of them teachers left. It's all these new vibrant like half of them didn't even go to school for education.
Right.
But
And
they
so-
enjoy working with kids and it's just like we not even being used to our
The ones that are teaching aren't even able to
Yeah.
utilize their creativity,
yeah,
right?
oh bro.
So I'll ask you this because this is what there's 2 sides to the thought of why it's not that way, right? So do you believe that it's because everybody isn't capable of that, or and everybody isn't going to be, let's just say, entrepreneur or whatever it may be, or something that takes creativity, right? Or are they just leading us down that path of I'm going to be a worker and I just
it's a
am
system.
I'm going to do XYZ because I don't know how to do anything else, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's the negative part of it, right? Like, okay, well, if you only teach me how to take this test and do this, then
That's all I
I
don't
can be
know
a
how
work.
to
I can be a worker that doesn't have to think critically. I just do what I'm told. So even from the standpoint of a test, oh, I just learned this information. I'll give it back to you. When you go into the workforce, oh, you do this, and I like somebody's telling you what to do at all times. Versus if I'm teaching you to think critically from all the way up to kindergarten, all the way up to the time you go to college, then now I have a bunch of creative people, critical thinkers, right? But the way,
But no people, I don't have those people that can come work in my factory or warehouse
yeah,
because they bigger than
because
they bigger than this. If I'm teaching them to think out,
think outside the box, then if I'm always thinking outside the box, then why am I sitting here just doing this input output, right?
that a machine could be doing.
Right. So if I teach you to do input output, like you do this, then I can hire more people to, like, I don't need you to critically.
Right.
I just need you to do what I tell you to do. So if I teach you from a young age that, oh, you just do what you do what you
Do what I
want,
told you. Yep.
then that's more people that once they get out of high school, then I can hire to do what I tell them.
Because that's what they used to.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the.
Or that's
The
all they
downfall.
think they're capable of doing.
I don't think it's that.
No, I'm saying like
Oh, you saying the students?
the students.
That's all the students think they're capable
like,
of.
I don't know how to do anything else, right? Like, so I have to get this. This is all this is all that I'm good enough. Like, you may not verbally say it, but or you know people growing up like, oh, man, I got a good job at this XYZ plant, right? But you may be capable of more, or you may, like, if you learn a skill, you learn a trade, don't got to be like suit and tie. Like, you can learn how to do something, and people pay for you. Whatever that skill is, people will pay you to do it if there's enough people that value your skill.
True. Yeah, I don't. It's frustrating when I think about like how it's set up, bro. Like, and being in the field and having to watch these kids like kind of suffer through it. They adopt that idea that I ain't gonna be no, computer tech or scientist, or I don't have that in me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna rap, sell dope, or I'm gonna do half. And half of them scamming now.
Yeah.
Like that became a thing.
Or they think they got to be athletes.
Yeah.
Other.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so literally so much more, and it's not unattainable.
Right.
Like that's the crazy part about it.
Right.
That it's not unattainable.
Yeah. And where I was at, them in those situations, they can help out their families so much, bro. And it's so much out there for them to be able to like get from the government in terms of like scholarships and all that stuff, bro. Like,
Yep. And then from
we can win.
Man, it's so many different ways to win. It is so many different ways to win that you just gotta find it, right? You think back to whatever that skill is, whatever you enjoy doing, find a way to monetize it. There's a way. Even if it is going to quote unquote, there's like we go back to the entrepreneur. There is nothing wrong with going to work for somebody.
Right. I just said that the other day.
It's literally nothing wrong with going to work for somebody. It is about what you learn while you're working for them, for one, right? Because you can always go off on your own if once you learn enough, or like I said, self-aware. Yeah, or the self-awareness that you found something that you enjoy doing, and you're able to get paid to do it.
Right.
Like you're able to. So like I just said, like even if I wasn't doing something that I enjoy to do, I wouldn't want to do it, right? But literally my job is to talk to people about their business, analyze their business, and find ways to help them with their business. That's the simplest form of what I do, right? That's my job title. All that stuff changes from time to time. But what I've been doing for the last 8 years is literally that. I get to talk about business to people about like how to help them with their business.
That's
like
fire.
you have to find something that you enjoy doing, and you have to also not be scared to be uncomfortable, right? So like we said, like some people think, oh yeah, I gotta do hair, I gotta do this, or I gotta sell. Like, it's probably because they're uncomfortable with doing something
Anything else
that is going to stretch them and make them grow, right?
Yeah.
People don't like to grow.
Yeah.
Or even from the standpoint of like you play sports, right? So when you think about when you're lifting weights, that process of you going in the weight room and working out, you're sore. Some people don't like that soreness.
Yeah.
They stop.
Yeah.
But if you keep pushing through that soreness, you're going to get better. You're going to get stronger.
True.
You're going to get better. And that's how you grow and you get better. So not being afraid to be uncomfortable and not being afraid to go through something to get to the other side.
That's real, bro.
So I think that's probably the biggest thing that's going to help like this generation.
And I'm learning now, just with what I do. I gotta be, like you said earlier, about being okay. I gotta be okay if it's just one or two that I've impacted.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in a classroom of 25, 4 times a day.
Everybody can go.
Yeah.
Everybody cannot
and
go.
Yeah, and I might not even be the one that reached them.
Yeah.
It could be another teacher, or maybe I say something first semester that don't make sense until these jokers graduate. You know what I'm saying? Like that has happened when I was teaching middle school. I came back high school, like, I appreciate you. I'm like, really? Yeah. I mean, I did some dumb stuff, man, but he was telling me, I'm just like, that's dope.
Yeah, man. I think the ability to reach them, because like you said, everybody's not going to get it, but if the ones that do get it, you can impact, like you're literally impacting their life, right? So like you're able to set them on a course, a positive course,
Right.
that they may have went in the wrong direction. So you can't lose sight on everybody because of certain people.
Facts. Well, yeah, that's it, man. I just want to be great. I just want to be successful.
Yeah, I mean it's a day by day journey of reaching that. Like you get to that point and you put in the work, and it's like but also this is what I will say, like you define what success is like for you, and that's one thing that you definitely have to understand is like not necessarily
it's so hard not to compare when you think about that too.
Yep.
But like I said, I think it's those moments that we might look at as small that meant everything to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Like if that's what God aligned and if that's what He had written out to happen, I gotta stop approaching it like, oh man, I should be doing more. Like no, that was enough. Like,
or think about even like forget comparing to other people, right? Think about what your younger self would have
appreciated.
Appreciated.
Yeah.
Like, man, I always think about this. Like my first real job out of college, like I worked for a company called Centise, and that's where you're changing out mats, you're changing out dirty towels and dirty aprons for like businesses. Like so you going in and I don't know if you ever paid attention, but the mat,
the weathermat in the front.
Yeah, the weathermat in the front.
Okay.
Like those Centise, changing out the soap in the bathroom, people's uniforms. That was my job. Just go in there. Like they sold me as it was.
That's humbling.
Yeah. So, but think about that. So, you think of it from a perspective. Okay, well, yeah, it's just uniforms, right? Mm-hmm. Or no, but when you go into restaurants, all they dirty towels that they that they've been washing dishes with, food and all that stuff. It's in a trash bag. Yeah. I got to go pick up that trash bag, put it on the back of my truck. Or you were in Selma. Ziegler's, the worst smelling place that I ever smelled in my life. I used to have to go. So when they're packaging the meat, they're killing the meat.
Yeah.
I had to go pick up their aprons, and I got to sit back there and I got to scan each apron. So I'm sitting back there for like an hour, smelly, scanning each apron. Got to go do that, put it on the back of the truck. So I did that for almost 2 years. And that's what keeps me motivated when I think about, or anytime I have from a professional standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Life, I know people are going through way worse, but I'm just talking about professional job. Like if I ever get frustrated with my job or whatever, like I think back to, I used to hate that job, hated it. But they told me I had to go through this to get to a certain, they promised me, certain things.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. I showed that I'm, blah, blah, blah. They kept procrastinating with this, raise and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I hated that job. I hated waking up every morning. Oh, that was the other thing. I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, every morning.
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning. Get on a hot truck, no AC, in the Alabama summers. So
2 years?
Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. Hated that job. It was it wasn't completely all bad, but I hated it because I envisioned myself doing something different after everything that I,
set forth.
Yeah, like when I was in school, I went, graduated, I graduated with a marketing degree, so I'm thinking I'm about to go do something, you know what I'm saying?
Which is probably everybody's story,
I'm thinking I'm about to do something. My mentor had took me, I used to go to, when I was in college, I used to go to conferences, with all these professional black people, working for all these big companies. And so I thought I was gonna do something different. So when I'm on that truck, that was Yeah, like so and then on top of that, I had to wake up like you just said, 4 a.m. to do that. Like I used to have to really struggle and you know, grind through doing that job because I wanted something at the end. And so I said all that to say, like, anytime I'm frustrated, I go back to what would the Fred that worked at Sentai say about,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, nigga, you better enjoy what you doing,
Right,
bro.
right.
We don't want to be here.
Yeah, so
Sheesh.
when you
that put it in perspective right
when
there.
you think about success, like, think about what the old you would say to the new you. Like, bro,
Looking at you crazy. Like, man, you complaining?
you complaining about that?
Working from home?
You complaining about that? Nah.
What time you wake up now?
I've been a little lazy, so I mean, it's like
It ain't 4 o'clock though.
Nah.
So that's what I'm saying.
No, so okay, so even then, like we talked about you know, the guiltiness of certain things, of the expectations.
Like what you
I put
should
on
be
you.
doing.
Where I used to be like, I used to wake up at like and I think that probably molded it, but I used to wake up at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, get to the gym, and like start my day like. And when I stopped doing that, I would feel guilty about it, like, you know, and not like getting to the point of like where when you're working a certain way, you get so used to doing it that if you don't do it, then you feel a certain way about not doing it.
So that sounds like there's a fine line between discipline and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
And that was my battle, and I still haven't figured that out.
Yeah, that's
Because there is a level of discipline that you have to get to where you want to go. But then you also have to understand where what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like what you as a person mentally, physically need. But there's also a level of discipline that it takes to be great. It's the battle. That's why I said it's so much of a battle within that you don't have time to compare to somebody else.
And even with the discipline, like even with the Peloton, like it took me getting to the point to where I'm setting alarms to make sure I do it, to where once I get past that initial like I don't feel like and I just get on, I be straight.
Yeah.
Like I turn on Netflix and I be straight.
Yeah.
And it's just like I really was finna skip this. This is 15, 20 minutes out of my day, bro. Like simple. Like why am I and I'm finna go ahead and waste time doing
nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
Like,
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like who would I hear say this? But when you can't it was Jim Jones. When you can't stay when you can't stay motivated, be consistent. And I was like, ooh. Like that was
Jim Jones said that? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy.
When you can't stay motivated, be consistent. Because if you really think about it, you ain't always gonna be motivated, right?
Right.
But consistency is what will keep you going, and it will keep.
I think that turned into habit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good habits too.
Right. So that's one thing that I would take.
Yeah, that's big. Y'all write that down, man. That's some good stuff. Tell the people where they can follow you, bro.
Yeah, man. Follow me on IG and Twitter. Fred Underwood. The O's are zeros, so at Fred Underwood on IG.
I'm about to put that on the screen, bro, because that's too much.
Yeah, but yeah, on IG and Twitter, got a couple things we working on. Me and Felix. Like I said, Dream Big Sports. I'm merging sports, technology, innovation, things of that nature, helping out student athletes, brands, things of that nature, and just helping them monetize their brands and be successful.
There it is, bro. Appreciate you coming through. Been a long time coming.
Yep.
He was actually supposed to be on episode 0, the very first one. But timing is everything.
Yep.
But yeah, keep it rocking. Boy, FeeLo, the outlet, live pre-recorded show on Earth. Holla.
Yep.
All right, so look in that camera. Give me a drop. No, this one here.
This one.
You
Keep
yeah.
it. All right. What am I?
Fred Underwood. Shout out to the outlet or something like that.
All right. It's rolling, so I can just do it. Fred Underwood. Shout out to the. Fred Underwood. Shout out to the outlet.
You said, "What's up? This is Fred with Dream Big."
Okay.
Shout out to the outlet.
Introduce myself. Shout out to the outlet.
That's it.
All right. All right. This is Fred Underwood with Dream Big. No. Introduce myself.
Go ahead.
It just
With
sounded-
Dream Big Sports, shout out to the outlet.
Okay. It's Fred Underwood with Dream Big Sports. Shout out to the outlet. Y'all check it out.